St. Petersburg, Florida. Blue Jays end a grueling 10-game road trip here this afternoon against the Rays. Rays have won the first two of this series. It's Kids Day at the ballpark. A lot of kids on hand. It'll be a great atmosphere inside this ballpark with so many youngsters here in attendance this afternoon. The Blue Jays will send Henderson Alvarez to the mound, but earlier today they got more bad news on the injury front. Brett Laurie came out early this morning to work out, try to get loose, and this goes back to Oakland. Friday night in Oakland, he took a swing in his first at bat, felt something in his right side, and he has not played since.
Yeah, you see him grab his side there very quickly, and now this was this morning, just before 10 o'clock this morning. He was out there with George Poulos. He's asking about his side. There's a pinching sensation whenever you would get up and try and throw a baseball. They were going to try and throw a little bit more. Watch how he doesn't get up on those throws right there. I think that has something to do with the side. And this is the telling one right here, Buck. Once he starts to push and run a little bit, he can still feel it in that side, so that oblique, that intercostal muscle is really hurting still.
So he is on the disabled list with three other key bats in the Blue Jays lineup, and it's been a struggle for them on this road trip. Just 2 and 7, and hits have been tough to come by for the Blue Jays. It won't get any easier today. Take a look at the lineup. Rajai Davis, Colby Rasmus, Edwin Encarnacion, top of the order. Escobar continues to bat bat cleanup. Then David Cooper, who homered last night in the ninth. Moises Sierra in right. Jeff Mathis and Omar Vizquel starts at second base. 2,863 career hits. That's 44th on the all-time list. He is third among active players. He'll play second here this afternoon. Adani Echeverria will start at third.
That is the lineup that young Matt Moore will face. Just 23 years old. This is his 22nd start of the season. Takes his 8-7 record to the mound. He has pitched better of late. He has won 3 of his last 4 starts. And his ERA is now under 4 for the first time since April the 15th. There are more pitches for strikes, pounding all over that strike zone. His walk total has gone down. So Matt Moore, like the rest of the Rays pitchers, are on a nice little hot streak. Defensively, the Rays are errorless in 7 consecutive games, a season high. Sam Pohl will get the start in left field with Upton and Joyce in the outfield. And there's a new double play combination for the Tampa Bay Rays. Ben Zobrist will get the start at shortstop. He has played games at second and right field, and the 8th different second baseman to start a game for the Rays, Ryan Roberts, will get the start this afternoon.
Roberts is at second. Ben Zobrist making his first start since July of 2009. That was also against the Blue Jays, starting at shortstop. Matt Moore facing the Blue Jays for a second time back on the 22nd of May. Matt Moore had a 6-0 lead going into the top half of the 5th. But Jose Bautista delivered a 2-run single. That was the only hit in the inning. Moore would eventually give up 4 runs on 1 hit. A couple of errors contributing to that Blue Jays rally.
Yeah, the ball was up in the zone, and then when they hit it, the defense hasn't helped them. And that's been a problem with the Rays all season long with their 78 errors.
First pitch of the ball game is outside to Rajai Davis. Davis batting .257 on the season. Goes after that pitch down and away. Matt Moore, like Alex Cobb and James Shields, will toe the rubber and work quickly. It's unnerving for hitters when you have a pitcher standing out there waiting on you.
They dictate the tempo, and they almost feel like they're ready to give it right to you. Be ready to hit a lot of fastballs from Matt Moore. That's the one pitch he feels like that's the key.
Fastball inside at 94. He will ramp it up from 94. He'll throw as high as 96, 97 during the course of an outing, and he's been very good of late, as Pat mentioned. There's a base hit toward right center. That's going to split the outfielders. B.J. Upton will cut it off. Rajai Davis thought about third, and he will stop at second with a leadoff double. For Davis, his 15th double of the season. It's the Blue Jays off and running here in the first.
Rajai has had a good road trip. Remember, he started this whole thing off with that home run in Seattle. And he has picked up another extra base hit. This one almost gets by Upton. If not, Rajai with that great speed would have been on third base, where he's going to have to settle for a double to lead off the ball game.
Rajay is now 10 for 37 on the road trip. Colby Rasmus, he too has had a pretty decent road trip. Rasmus, for the 9 games, has hit .310, 9 for 27. Pitch down and away. Rasmus had a hit in last night's game. Overall, he was 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. He homered here on Tuesday night and has led to his 5-game hit streak.
I love how he is right on top of the plate, just challenging Moore to throw him inside.
Derek Shelton, the hitting coach for the Rays, made a comment about that first game of this series. He said all the hitting coaches around the league are talking about Colby Rasmus. Have you seen where he's standing in the batter's box? He's right on top of the plate and up in the front half of that batter's box.
We haven't seen the Rays for a couple of months. And Colby has changed his spot in that batting order since the last time we saw Tampa Bay. When you see him that close to the plate, where do you pitch him? He can reach the outside pitch. He's quick enough on the inside part of the plate.
One and 2. Matt Moore keeping an eye on Rajay Davis.
Rays have had success in this series against Colby with 2 strikes, climbing the ladder, throwing the high fastball about letter high. He has struck out 3 times in the first 2 games on pitches that were up.
Breaking ball, strike 3. They locked him up with that good hook. Big strikeout for Matt Moore with a runner at second and nobody out.
He might have been thinking about that fastball, and that's when Moore can drop that curveball on him. Scouting report brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Fastball, it's good. It's 96 to 98 miles an hour. He's got a good changeup. His slider's more of a curveball. It's got good break to it, good depth to it. But he talks about that fastball being a big pitch for him.
Edwin Encarnacion. They mentioned Edwin in the open as far as being one of the lone power bats that's still remaining. 4 of the big bats in the Blue Jays' middle of their order on the disabled list. Brett Lawrie, the latest to join them. There goes Davis. Overton has no throw. Rajay Davis steals his 13th base at third. He is 13 for 15 in steal attempts of third. He also picks up his 31st bag of the season.
He's only been thrown out 8 times this year. Watch the bobble on the other end by the catcher trying to hurry his throw. Just the 4th stolen base given up this year by Matt Moore.
Edwin Encarnacion with a chance to give the Jays an early lead. Tampa Bay has drawn the infield in. Neither of these clubs right now scoring many runs. Each run is a premium.
You've got a strikeout pitcher on the mound. You've got the hitter down in the count. You've got to bring the infield in.
Upstairs with the fastball.
Keeping an eye on Rajay Davis to see how the Blue Jays are going to play. Are they going to try and steal a run here in the first inning? You can see Keppinger, the third baseman, and they're thinking about them using that contact play. He was acting like a first baseman, actually holding the runner on at third so Davis can't get a big jump.
Outside. Joe Madden thinks out of the box. He knows that Davis is going to go on contact. He's been looking at the box scores. He knows the Blue Jays have struggled on this road trip. Coming into this game, 9 for 52 with runners in scoring position, a 173 average. Encarnacion takes the pitch inside. He'll walk. They mentioned Matt Moore back in May had a 6-0 lead going into the top of the 5th inning, and control got him then. He had 3 walks in that top half of the 5th inning. That led to 4 runs. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, out quickly. Part defense, part pitching. You could see him talking to Carlos Pena.
Yeah, and now he is all over Matt Moore. And we were talking to Jim Hickey yesterday, and he was saying that his fastball has been a lot better. He has been using it. He has thrown it for quality strikes.
Matt Moore, in his first season as a regular starter, he went 1-5 in his first 10 starts, and he's turned it around dramatically. Second half of the season has been very good. His ERA very respectable. League hitting just .232 against him, and the whip has dropped down. But right here, he's in a first inning jam.
Expectations sky high this year for Matt Moore from what he did last year when he came up at the end of the year, and then what he did into the playoffs. But it's still a learning process for a very young pitcher.
Yunel Escobar. Makes the first pitch strike. Escobar had a big hit on Sunday in Oakland. With the bases loaded, he delivered a 2-run single to left. The only 2 runs he's driven in on this road trip.
They're going to need some RBIs from that 4 spot now with all the players that are on the disabled list. Edwin Encarnacion is starting to get the Jose Bautista treatment.
Not getting much to hit.
Not much to hit, so the guy behind him has got to come through.
First and third, 1 out. Outside. The Blue Jays have used that safety squeeze bunt in these situations in the past, but given their struggles, I would expect Escobar to swing away, just trying to see if they can get more than a single run.
Left-handed pitcher on the mound. He's hitting 4th for a reason.
He called the block. That's right. Edwin Encarnacion picked up on it. He started up and then stopped, and Edwin was the first one that pointed at him. He was running at first, and he brought it to the attention of Field and Cobrath at first, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
You heard the whole right side of the infield call that one. Torey Lovullo, Edwin Encarnacion, and then the first base umpire. Watch as he starts and stops. There.
And there goes Edwin to third. He steals it easily. Encarnacion, his 13th steal. Lobaton had no chance. Matt Moore still rattled after the ball. Boy, that's a great time to run.
Right after a young pitcher finds himself in trouble. He's balked in the game's first run. The head starts spinning. He gives him one look, and he's gone. Another instance where Edwin Encarnacion, his head's in the game.
Once again, the infield has to come in. 2 balls and a strike to Yunel Escobar, batting cleanup.
Moore has talked about that fastball. He says, when I'm not throwing it for quality strikes, I'm usually not in the game very deep. And right now, his fastball hasn't been very quality.
And it hasn't had the velocity we have seen in the past. Full count, 1 out. On the ground, Encarnacion coming home, and he'll be out as he tries to slide under the catcher, but Lobaton made the tag. Encarnacion was going on contact, and the Rays play pitch and catch. They throw him out at the plate.
You know what? That could have been very dangerous for the Blue Jays. Watch where the bat ends up. Right in the path of where Encarnacion's going to slide. Yeah, I've done that before, and you can really wrench your knee if you slide on that bat. A lot of times, catchers or the umpire have time to kick it out of the way so that runner doesn't slide on it. That time, he eludes the bat, but he's tagged out at home.
2 outs, David Cooper. Cooper hit a ninth-inning home run off of Fernando Rodney last night with 1 out. That made it a 3-2 game. His second ninth-inning home run on this trip, as he tied the game up on Saturday with a 1-out home run against Ryan Cook.
He has shown very good power the other way this year. 4 home runs, 3 of them the other way. He has also hit 3 balls right on their screws right at the third baseman on this trip.
Matt Moore is really struggling. I'd love to get to him, knock him out of the game early. 3-0. There's a strike. Moises Sierra, the right fielder, is on deck, the right-handed hitter. Ooh, borderline pitch. Moore got the call.
Yeah, Lobaton really helped out his pitcher that time, framing that one and pulling it back into the strike zone.
Pena has gotten behind Escobar at first. There goes Escobar on the pitch, and it's popped up. Sam Full, the left fielder, makes the grab. The Blue Jays are done in the first, but they score a run. Couple of stolen bases. A buck. Matt Moore struggling with his command. They scored 3 runs on 7 hits last night. Sam Full gets the start. He's in the leadoff spot in left field. B.J. Upton, Matt Joyce. The DH is Evan Longoria. Since he's come back from the disabled, it's just 1 for 7, but he's had an impact. Picked up an RBI with a sac fly. He's punched out 4 times. He is still showing signs that his bat is rusty. Zobrist, Pena, Keppinger, Ryan Roberts, the former Blue Jays, starts for the first time this season at second base, and Jose Lobaton is the catcher.
Anderson Alvarez had his 2-game win streak come to an end last time out at Oakland when he had 5 innings pitched. That is his shortest outing since June the 25th, and that was because he left that game in Boston with an injury. He has yet to beat the Rays in 2 career starts. He has thrown 13 innings, and he's given up 16 hits in his career.
First pitch, strike from Alvarez. Sam Full, playing for the first time in this series, goes after the pitch. It's a hot shot to the second baseman. Omar Vizquel throws him out.
Center fielder, number 2.
Blue Jays 4 errors on this 9-game road trip so far. Here's how they will line up defensively. Davis, Rasmus, and Moises Sierra with the start in right field. Echeverria, Escobar, Omar Vizquel will give Kelly Johnson the day off with the left-hander on the mound. Edwin Encarnacion has been outstanding over at first base. There is Omar make another start at second.
Center fielder B.J. Upton steps in against Alvarez. Upton reached on an air in his first at bat last night. Also doubled and scored in the third. Breaking ball hit to short. Escobar. Encarnacion, 2 outs.
Take a look at the scouting report for this afternoon starter for the Blue Jays, Henderson Alvarez, and it all has to do with his fastball. He's got to be able to use it and sink it and get in on right-handers. That's what he did against Detroit a couple of starts ago. What he didn't do against the Oakland A's. Got a little bit of a slider that's developing, and his changeup is his second best pitch. One of the problems he had in his start against Oakland last time out, command. He had 5 walks in those 5 innings against the Oakland A's.
Hechavarria moves out into right field with Matt Joyce at the plate. Joyce, a very strong pull hitter. He's also picked up 3 hits and 8 at-bats against Alvarez.
Great splits against right-handed pitching. He's hit 10 of his 12 home runs versus righties.
All the way back to the screen. 2-0. See where he hits the ball. Center and right predominantly. This ball is bounced over the mound. Omar Vizquel can't make the play. Vizquel trying to barehanded it. Joyce gets out of the box quickly, so I don't know that he would have had to play it even had he come up with it cleanly.
Well, they're playing awfully deep also, respecting the power of Matt Joyce. Once the ball got ahead of Alvarez, really no chance for Vizquel to come in and make that play. You can see, tried to get it on the short hop and just couldn't come up with it. Rays have their first hit.
2-out single for Matt Joyce. That brings Evan Longoria to the plate. Longoria goes after the first pitch, and Evans had lots of success against Henderson Alvarez. Those are his numbers for the season. But against Alvarez in just 6 at-bats, Longoria has 3 home runs.
A little tardy right there on the fastball from Alvarez. Timing issue right there with Longoria.
Again, that timing is going to be off. You can have all the rehab starts you want in the minor leagues, but when you get back up here in the big leagues in the middle of August, the pitchers are on their game.
And if you've been out as long as Evan Longoria is out, it's going to take some time. He had 25 at-bats on a rehab start.
He missed 85 games with that hamstring injury. Come on and missed. Longoria goes down on 3 good fastballs. Just 10 pitches for Alvarez in the first. He protects that 1-0 lead. Longoria can't catch up.
brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Beautiful afternoon in St. Petersburg. We are indoors at Tropicana Field. Moises Sierra goes after the first pitch. Sierra starting in right field. And he played in the opener against James Shields. Went 0 for 3 and grounded into a double play. Pitch up and away. He's in the hole 0-2.
Anthony Ghost did not play against the right-hander Shields. John Farrell thought that he had a better chance with Sierra and that changeup. That Sierra would stay on that changeup just a little bit longer. And with the lefty out there, a hard throwing lefty, Sierra back in there.
Breaking ball. He tried the check and did. Fielding Cobreth at first base. Said no swing. On this road trip, Sierra's gone 6 for 16.
Well, he certainly hasn't looked intimidated at all. Offensively, out in the field when he is playing right field. There's his last 3 games. I think if he learns to use his lower half, he is really going to be a power hitter. He opens his stance up and hits from that open stance and gets a lot of movement, but then stops his lower half when he swings. Once he starts to incorporate that, this guy's got a lot of power.
3-2. Goes after that inside pitch.
We saw a ball in Oakland that he hit off the wall. It was almost a one-handed swing and a line drive right off the middle of the wall. Shows you the type of power potential that he has in that bat.
Another 3-2 pitch from Moore. Another foul back. Yeah, Sierra has a lot of power. When you look at what he did down in the minor leagues, it's pretty impressive. He had 289 in AAA, 16 doubles and 17 home runs. It's set off the end of the bat. That's a base hit. Falls safely into the outfield. Sierra gets things started. You can say he's got a fistful of bees as he hit that off the end of the bat.
He'll trade that every time for a big league hit.
Jeff Mathis, long look down at Brian Butterfield at third. Sierra can run. He's got good speed. Sierra had 7 steals in the minor leagues in 13 attempts. I don't think they would ask him to steal, but they wouldn't be afraid to put him in motion.
Yeah, Jeff Mathis has been struggling a little bit offensively. You can put the hit and run on and really make him concentrate on that baseball.
Goes after that high fastball.
Speed and other ways of manufacturing runs for the Blue Jays. That's going to have to be a way right now. With the power that is lost out of this lineup because of the injuries, they're going to have to be creative in their way of scoring runs.
There goes the runner. Mathis squared to bunt, pulls the bat back. Lobaton didn't make a throw. That's the 3rd steal already for the Jays against Tampa Bay.
Lobaton has only thrown out 5 base runners all year, just 19%. So the Jays have found something, and they're going to try to exploit it here. Sierra, that was a straight steal because he didn't look in at all. You can see the fake bunt by Mathis. And another stolen base.
Sometimes that can get into a catcher's head. That wasn't a bad pitch to throw. This looked like he really didn't want to even attempt to throw. Mathis in the hole 0-2 takes an inside heater. Mathis was asked to bunt last night in the 7th inning. Blue Jays were down by 2. Kelly Johnson started the inning off with a leadoff double. He bunted Johnson to third. This time it's popped up. Brian Roberts out into shallow right. Mathis couldn't move the runner up. Omar Vizquel getting the start. Vizquel came into the game on Friday night in Oakland. After Brett Lawrie hit in the top of the first, Vizquel took over defensively in the bottom half of that inning. He wound up playing 15 innings.
Omar came in that first inning after Brett was hurt and played a long time. If he's going to get an RBI single, he might have to split the gap in the outfield. You can see the corner outfielder and BJ up to very shallow with Omar at the plate. So Sierra's going to have to get a big secondary lead.
Sierra's had problems running the bases. A couple of times he's forgotten how many outs there are. He was running from first base on a double off the wall by Anthony Gose and hesitated, not knowing how many outs there were.
He's run through a couple of stop signs by Brian Butterfield already.
Vizquel takes another pitch inside. Two balls and a strike. Blue Jays lead 1-0. Downstairs. Vizquel pulls it down the line. Folds got good speed, gets over quickly and makes the catch. 2 outs.
He's a good outfielder too. He can afford to play him because he moves so well in the outfield. And now with Hechavarria up there, he's going to have to really get a big lead at second base.
2 outs. Sierra is still at second base. Adeiny Hechavarria has 1 hit in 11 at bats since coming to the big leagues. He was a good run producer in AAA. Drove in 63 runs. But we remind you, this is not AAA.
You're not going to be facing a Matt Moore in AAA. We might be there for a little bit, and he's going to be up in the big leagues.
Luis Rivera in the seats. He was Hechavarria's AA manager. He happened to be coaching first base in the first game of this series when Hechavarria got his first big league hit. Oh, and 2. Moore strikes out Hechavarria to end the inning. The Blue Jays continue to have problems cashing in with runners in scoring position. Moore ends the second with a strikeout. Welcome back to Tropicana Field. Ben Zobrist, the shortstop, will step in to start things for Tampa Bay in the bottom of the second. Zobrist was on base 3 times in last night's game. He walked twice, singled and grounded out. Henderson Alvarez throws a first pitch strike to Zobrist. On the ground. Encarnacion bobbles it and can't pick it up. Edwin Encarnacion committing just his second error at first base. Got ahead of himself a little bit. Started to go to the bag before he had the baseball.
Yeah, he's been so good over there. Catching the ball with one hand, he goes right after it, hits him in the heel. And then he just can't gather himself to get over the baseball. And it looked like he was a little in between. Should I still have time to pick it up and tag the bag or flip it over to Alvarez? Third error this season, but just his second at first base. He made the other one in Baltimore when he made a start at third base. So Alvarez now has to pitch out of some trouble.
Now Tampa Bay, they'll take advantage of your mistakes. They don't get a lot of hits, but they'll cash in if you give them extra opportunities. Carlos Pena, first baseman. Pena did not start in the opener. Came into the ballgame defensively at first base. Last night he was back at first base. He was 0 for 3 with a walk. He walked in the second inning. Pena's 0 for 5 in limited at bats against Henderson Alvarez.
You know, with that runner at first base now after the error, Blue Jays can't shift like they usually do against Carlos Pena. So he's going to wind up and try and see how far he can hit it now.
Hits it sharply. Vizquel, the only play will be to first. Vizquel takes a hit away from Pena but picks up the out. Zobrist moves to second.
He still has the soft hands at second base. In the infield. Ball was almost by him, but watch how softly he's able to move to his right. Couple of steps, pick it, and doesn't even think about trying to get that lead runner. That's when problems happen. When you try to make something that's not there happen. That time he just gets the out to help out Henderson Alvarez.
Jeff Keppinger has gone 1 for 6 in the series. Nothing Blue Jays lead. So first pitch strike. That's what Alvarez is going to have to do. This Rays team is so patient. They will force you to throw something over the middle of the plate.
It should be a good matchup for Henderson Alvarez because he throws a lot of strikes. He uses his fastball a lot. And he can get ahead a lot because they take so many pitches.
There's a base hit into right. Sierra will play it on the hop, and they're going to stop the runner. Moises Sierra hasn't been here long, but he's got the reputation of possessing a cannon for an arm.
And that was an easy one for him. Ball was hit softly by Keppinger to right field to his glove side. So he can come in there easily. Here's the pitch away. Cuts it a little bit, and then here's Sierra to his glove side, moving over, takes one quick glance at that runner, and then hits the cutoff man with a very strong throw. Keeps the double play in order with Encarnacion cutting that ball off.
Well, here's a situation that screams for that patented Tampa Ray safety squeeze. First and third, good base runner at third in Zobrist, and a guy that can put the bat on the ball in Ryan Roberts.
And a guy who has been struggling, Ryan Roberts, offensively.
And they wanted to see if Roberts might tip his hand. That's why they go to first. Not showing bunt. Takes a pitch inside.
The safety squeeze that you were talking about is just a bunt. You give yourself up, you try and make that first baseman field the baseball. The runner at third base can come down the line very far, and he'll score once he sees it on the ground, and you also get that run at first base in the scoring position.
Not showing bunt at all. It's 2-0. Alvarez gets a lot of ground balls. Already in this game, he's picked up 3 ground ball outs. Tom Foley, third base coach, delivering the play to Ben Zobrist, the runner at third. Alvarez has played right into the Rays' hand.
Coming off a game where he had 5 walks against the Oakland A's. Oakland A's offense very similar to Tampa Bay's. They'll take their walks and they'll keep the line moving.
A 4-pitch walk that'll load the bases. That'll bring to the plate the switch hitting catcher, Jose Lobaton. Lobaton caught the opener. Had a double in 3 at bats. Bases loaded. Zobrist at third, Keppinger at second, and Ryan Roberts at third. Tampa Bay has hit 4 grand slams this year. Matt Joyce has hit 2. Carlos Pena has 1, as does Luke Scott, who's currently on the DL.
Alvarez looking for that ground ball. It's a well-placed fastball.
A little flare, that's going to drop. Base hit. 1 run is in. Keppinger is around third. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. Jose Lobaton delivers a 2-run single to left. Didn't hit it hard, but hit it in the right spot.
That's what the Rays have done in this series. They have come up with big base hits. Now, they haven't hit them hard. They just put them in a good spot. Fastball down and away, and he bloops it into left field. 1 run's going to score from third, and Davis has a shot at the plate. But the ball is up the line and high. And that allows Keppinger to slide underneath that tag. An error walk and a single set the stage for that bases loaded hit.
A very easy play at first base got the inning started. Edwin Encarnacion committed the error. Pena grounded out, and then singles by Keppinger, a walk to Roberts, and a 2-run single by Lobaton.
And now he's got to get the train back on the tracks right now. You can see Alvarez very upset as he slams that rosin bag down behind the mound. Again, he's thrown 22 double plays this year, which is tied for first in the American League. So they're always 1 pitch out of it.
The one thing the Blue Jays pitchers can't think about is trying to be perfect, because the offense hasn't scored many runs. You just have to pitch your game. Alvarez and Mathis aren't on the same page.
Yeah, he's not ready to agree with what he was throwing down there.
Sam Full, the leadoff batter. Still more time, and Alvarez was looking into the catcher before he ever stepped on the rubber. Misses again. Got to get back in the strike zone. This is a team that hits much better. They see a few pitches and have the count in their favor.
That's their game plan. They like to see a lot of pitches. Alvarez, Henderson right now is rattled a little bit. Bruce Walt went out to talk to him. It looked like he was looking right through him.
It pulls it foul. This is exactly the situations pitching coaches refer to when they talk about their pitchers needing to slow the game down. Don't let it get away from you right here. You can't prevent or redo what's happened in this inning.
Right. Can't worry about the past. The only thing you can worry about is that next pitch. And right now he's a little bit out of sorts.
This is just his 32nd career start. Just a full season of starting going back to last year. And he's had some peaks and valleys for sure.
Yeah, I was watching and looking at some of his starts over the last month or so. And it's been very inconsistent.
There go the runners. It's ball 4. The bases will be loaded again. Jeff Mathis couldn't wait on Adrian Johnson's call. He fired to third, but it was unnecessary as Full was walks. 2 walks in the inning. And it's been an ugly inning. And Air, 2 walks, and the bases are loaded again with 1 out.
A couple of opposite field hits. Tells you that the Rays are really staying on Alvarez and trying to wait as long as possible so they don't overcommit too soon.
B.J. Upton. Ground ball, second base to force out, and Vizquel goes back to third, thinking that the runner would make a turn, and he did, but he didn't turn far enough. The force out leads to another run.
Well, he knows that he wasn't going to double up B.J. Upton, but maybe he can get Lobatone, the runner at second base, getting a little bit too greedy around third base. Heads up play by Vizquel. This is 24 years of experience right here. No chance to get Upton, but I'm going to fire right across the diamond and try and get that runner. And I have seen veteran teams run that play, and that third baseman throw his leg down there and block that runner off there to get the out.
Lobatone at third, Upton at first, 2 outs. Matt Joyce had an infield hit his first time up. That extended his hit streak to a career high 8 games.
Really turn on a fastball.
Off speed pitch in there that evens the count at a ball and a strike. We talk about the Rays being opportunistic, and they have proven that again this inning. It all started by Zobrist reaching on the air. Another changeup misses outside.
The Ray rally. An error, a couple of walks, a couple of fielders' choices, mix in a couple of bloop singles, and you've got 3 runs. Rays only scored in 1 inning yesterday, and their pitching made it stand up.
Well, that's why Joe Madden can do some unorthodox things offensively. He'll start runners, they'll steal bases. He knows if they get an early lead, he's got the pitching to shut down anybody.
It may have been the best in baseball since the All-Star break.
And don't be surprised if Upton runs right here. He's trying to steal a run. He has 22 stolen bases. A little bit late getting back to the bag, but the throw was on the wrong side of first base. Popped up center of the infield. Hechavarria, Encarnacion. It's the first baseman who makes the catch. That ends the inning, but Tampa Bay takes advantage of an error and a couple of walks. Rajay Davis will start things off for the Blue Jays. When we come back, it will be followed by Colby Rasmus and Edwin Encarnacion. Blue Jays trail 3-1. Clinic for children aged 8 through 15 with type 1 diabetes. Instructors include the Blue Jays training staff and Blue Jay players. Children will learn about staying healthy and active Wednesday, August 15th at Rogers Center. The clinic starts at 9:45 a.m. and runs till 1 o'clock. Parents must RSVP by Wednesday, August 8th by calling 647-789-2037. You can log on to BlueJays.com for more information. Rajay Davis takes a strike. Changeup in there. It's 0-2. Just off the inside edge. Moore has picked up the tempo.
Working a little bit faster, using his off-speed pitches a little bit more. He's got a great fastball. He averages about 94.5 miles an hour, second best in the American League among starters. And he's getting stronger as the game goes along.
A former 8th round pick by Tampa Bay. Popped into shallow center field. Upton makes the grab. 1 out. We talk about the MLB play campaign, and we showed Sam Fuld because Sam has been dealing with type 1 diabetes since he was 10, and he is very active. He hosts a sports camp for 100 diabetes patients down here at the University of South Florida's Diabetes Center. So here's a perfect example of how the young children can live and handle diabetes and still have an active and healthy lifestyle. Sam Fuld is quite an interesting case. Kobe Rasmus, he struck out against Moore in the first. Popped up behind home. The catcher, Lobaton, has a bead on it, and there are 2 quick outs. Well, this is exactly what the Rays do. Their pitchers shut down the offense after their team has scored. In last night's game, Blue Jays scored a run in the third. Rays countered that with 3 in the bottom of the third. And then in the fourth, Alex Cobb retired to side in order. He struck out all 3 batters he faced.
Yeah, it's almost like they feel that momentum is over there in their first base dugout, and they don't want to give it up.
Encarnacion was walked his first time up. They just wouldn't give him anything to hit. He had a runner in scoring position and never got anything he could offer at.
More off-speed stuff this inning from Matt Moore. Again, his fastball, he got plenty of that, but he hasn't been able to find the zone yet. So in this inning here, he's been throwing a couple of changeups, a couple of breaking balls. Tiny challenges with the fastball. It's still out of the strike zone.
3-0. There's a strike. Remember, Matt Moore had a 6-0 lead into the top of the 5th back in May right here in this ballpark, and he couldn't finish the 5th. Carlos Pena on the warning track, stays with it, and the inning is over. Matt Moore does exactly what the Rays wanted. He retires the Jays in order in the top of the 3rd. It's time for Rogers Cup tennis. All the action from 2 great tournaments. It's the Rogers Cup presented by National Bank. Tennis at its very best. Right now, the women can be seen on FX Canada and City TV. Tonight, it's Milos Raonic against Olympic champion Andy Murray in a 3rd-round match on Sportsnet 1. The 2012 Rogers Cup. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Tampa Bay has a 3-1 lead. Evan Longoria was a strikeout victim his first time up. There's a base hit to left field. Longoria sat back and got the fastball he was looking for.
First time up, Henderson Alvarez had his best fastball and blew away Evan Longoria on 3 pitches. This time it's down and it's in, and that's right where he likes it. He is a very good low ball hitter and rips it into left field for another hit.
4th hit for the Rays. Ben Zobrist scored the first Rays run in that 3-run second inning. Base hit right field. Longoria had to jump to avoid being hit by that ball, so he only moves up to second.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida. We are in St. Petersburg, where the Blue Jays have had nothing but trouble playing against the Tampa Bay Rays.
And that goes back for a while. That loss that they had yesterday makes it 16 consecutive series that they've lost here.
First baseman Carlos Pena cracked to Omar Vizquel his first time up. Batting just 194 for the season.
Tough to double up Pena because he hit so many fly balls, and that's exactly what the Rays want. They want him to get the ball in the air.
Alvarez gets ahead of Pena with a fastball. That high fastball has always given Pena problems.
Just above his hands. He's got a natural uppercut to his swing, and if you can elevate that fastball and get it up over his hands, he tends to swing through it. You bring it down, though, you can smoke it out of the ballpark. Very good low ball hitter.
15 home runs for Pena this season. Pena's always among the leaders in strikeouts. He is second to Adam Dunn in strikeouts in the American League. Jose Bautista, I guess he got a little bit of good news in that the injury to his wrist hasn't changed much, but there's still inflammation in that wrist area. He will not swing a bat until Monday.
Yeah, I'm still feeling the pain when he tries to swing a bat. Dry swings or off the tee.
Way inside. It's 2-2. If you're just joining us, Brett Loring this morning was placed on a disabled list. He came out early, tried to get loosened up, see if he might be able to play, but still felt discomfort on his right side, and they put him on the DL.
Jays haven't made a roster move yet. That'll probably be coming when they get back home after this afternoon's game.
Breaking ball downstairs. The DL assignment is retroactive, so he has 6 days to his credit since he was injured. You go back to the last day a player has played in a game, and as long as he hasn't stepped on the field, participate in a regular season game, you can backdate it.
And they need a healthy body. They just weren't sure when he was going to be ready.
Another walk. Not close. Two singles and a walk. Loaded the bases again. And Edwin Encarnacion over from first base with some encouragement.
Yeah, he's got to battle it right here.
Jeff Keppinger had a base hit to right his last time up. Longoria, Zobrist, and Pena. Third to first. Bouncing ball. Fair ball. One at home. Back to first. And almost threw it into right field. Lance Barksdale, the third base umpire, signaled fair, and Hechavarria came home for the force out. And Mathis made a high throw, and Concepcion did a good job to jump up and bring it down.
Well, you've got Evan Longoria running at third base, and Joe Maddon has told him, I don't want you stretching it out. This is the home plate umpire's call. And right after he sees Adrian Johnson call that ball fair, the home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale, calls it fair. Good play by Hechavarria to go home, get that lead out. Good job by Encarnacion to keep that ball in the infield.
So the bases are still loaded, but a double play will get Alvarez out of the inning and keep it a 2-run game. Second baseman Ryan Roberts. There's a little flare into center. Rasmus traps the ball, gets it back to the infield. Zobrist comes in to score. First base umpire Fieldon Colbreth went out to the outfield and called it no catch, a trap. So Roberts picks up a base hit and an RBI.
Yeah, that was the rotation of the umpires with the bases loaded. He has the call. And Rasmus clearly trapped it. You can see he dives and it bounces into it. And he knows he didn't catch it, so he's got to get it back into the infield as quick as possible. So only one run can score.
The catcher, Jose Lobaton, has driven in 2 already. He had the bases loaded last time he was up. He singled to left. 4-1 Tampa Bay. Still just 1 out.
Well, right now, Henderson, Alvarez just can't get the ball down. Doesn't look like he's able to finish those pitches off. Everything is up.
Ball is down, but in the dirt. Two balls and a strike. Ground ball. Vizquel to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Alvarez gets the much needed ground ball. Vizquel starts the 4-6-3 double play. The Rays are held to just 1 run. Baseball day. The Blue Jays will take on the New York Yankees. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. Come celebrate the Blue Jays' involvement in amateur baseball across Canada. The pregame with the Blue Jays will be saluting the Little League team that will be representing Canada in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Canada Baseball Day, Little League World Series just around the corner. All the teams are vying for a spot in Williamsport. Langley, BC is leading the Canadian Championships right now. And Blue Jays will honor that Canadian Little League team that makes its way to Williamsport. Now Escobar bunts it up the first base line. Matt Moore gets off the mound and throws him out.
We cannot let Matt Moore get comfortable. He is starting to find his groove right now. His last start, he had a 25-pitch first inning. Had his troubles his last time out, but then found his groove and ended up throwing shutout baseball into the 6th inning and picking up his 8th win.
George Poulos, the head athletic trainer for the Blue Jays, has had a busy summer. They have really been tested and responded every time. They have had some serious injuries to deal with. They've had a lot of guys that they've had to just maintain to get back on the field.
You've been in the game a long time. I've been in the game a long time. I've never seen the type of injuries and as many injuries as we have seen this year for one team.
When you look around baseball, injuries have been the common theme for every team this year. Pat Hudson, the assistant trainer, and George Poulos do a terrific job of trying to keep players on the field.
And we talk to scouts in our travels. We see them at the ballpark every single day. And we ask them about the effect and why there are so many different injuries. And we hear different stories everywhere we go.
But this is the impact of the Jose Bautista injury. He was injured on July 17th before the team OPS was over 750. It's dropped dramatically.
You usually don't want to pin it on one guy, but all you have to do is look at the before and after of the major league rank of runs per game and what Bautista would bring to the table. Before he was hurt, they were 3rd in the American League in runs per game. They've dropped down to 23rd since Bautista has gone out. So he has meant so much to the team. All by himself, he's been worth 1 run a game.
Evan Longoria, his loss has had the same impact on Tampa Bay. 2 middle of the order bats, you take them out for a significant amount of time, it's going to change the way your team produces offensively.
You know, unfortunately for the Blue Jays, it's not just the offensive numbers that Jose Bautista brings to the table, but the leadership and the small things that he does inside the game that fans don't see. Maybe help out a young kid like a Moises Sierra. Hey, why don't you look for this pitch right here, or go first to third on a certain hit, or his arm and his glove in the outfield. All those little things that can help you win ball games. Those are missing right now.
Sierra hits it hard on one hopper to third. Cuppinger throws him out. Matt Moore has figured it out. It's easy when you don't have to face Jose Bautista. Rays lead at 4-1. The Blue Jays replica hat day will be Sunday, August 12th. The Blue Jays and the Yankees will hook up in the series finale. It's a 107 start. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays replica hat. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Sam Fuld with a bunt, and what a play by Vizquel. He barehanded it and threw it all in one motion. And throws out Fuld for the first out.
Well, what made this play impressive is where Vizquel started this play with Fuld. Look at almost to the outfield grass. He reads it. I like how Vizquel, he doesn't get into that stance. He just walks into it. He's still upright and still can move laterally. And makes a nice play to start the inning.
B.J. Upton, a little flare into center. One out base hit. Over Vizquel. Watch Vizquel, how quickly he gets it and throws it. It's almost as if he's turning the ball as soon as he grabs it to get those seams all aligned on that baseball.
Great hands. We saw him make a play a couple of innings ago to get an out, and that time uses the bare hand to get the out.
Right fielder Matt Joyce. I remember the first time I saw Omar Vizquel when he first came up with Seattle, and I watched him in pregame, and he would barehand balls like that, and I said, well, look at that hot dog. Who does he think he is? He's been doing it now for 24 years.
Yeah, well, let me tell you who he is. Probably the finest fielding shortstop since Ozzie Smith.
Yeah, and he does the same type of acrobatic plays, and he practices those. That's why he's able to do them. Literally, he does it every day. He prepares himself as well as anybody I've ever been around.
You know, the true pro that he is, he makes the guys around him better.
Line drive to left. Rajay Davis on the run, makes the catch. 2 outs. Evan Longoria, as we mentioned, he has that same presence in the Rays lineup that Jose Bautista has in the Blue Jays lineup.
I was talking with Derek Shelton the other day about what Evan Longoria means to his ball club. He said, you know what, everybody can go back to their spots in the lineup where they feel most comfortable. The big RBI guy in the middle is going to take over. And everybody doesn't have to do a little bit more. Just go back to getting on base, B.J. Upton using your speed. Then Zobrist can do his thing, knock in the big run. Same thing with Matt Joyce, but you've taken Longoria out of the lineup. Now everybody thinks they have to replace that bat. You can't. It's impossible.
Have you ever been around a hitter that looks so relaxed and comfortable at the plate as Longoria?
No. Not the way he stands at the plate. He's got his feet together, his hands high, very upright. But what that does is it frees up his body.
When you think about it, he doesn't bend over at the waist or crouch deep into his knees. And those things all put tension in your body.
There's no tension. Even with the bat held high, you can tell he's very loose and very free at the plate. I wish I could have hit like this, been this relaxed at the plate.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and he's been like this since day one. That's just his personality. And I've talked to him several times about where he really learned to take that approach. He said playing in college. Played at Long Beach State next to Troy Tulowitzki. Can you imagine that tandem in college? But he said it was Tulowitzki's and his relaxed approach that allowed Longoria to free himself up.
When you see players like this who are nice and free and relaxed, all that does is tell you how sure of themselves they are. They're just very positive type of players. George Brett, I thought, was very relaxed at the plate, how he would lean back with that bat on his shoulder. And a very confident ball player also.
I think, too, the one thing that you see that's universal with these types of players is how much they enjoy playing. 1-2. Upton at first. There he goes. Another foul. Nope, it's just outside of third base. Longoria hesitated for a moment and saw it was going to be close at third.
Well, he's not supposed to run on those little tappers. Just jog. Doesn't want to stretch out that hamstring. He missed so much time with his torn hamstring. He'll probably be sore for a couple of days now that he's played, even as a designated hitter. He's played a couple of games in a row.
Another 1-2 pitch. Another off-speed pitch. Another foul.
You know, one more point on players that are relaxed at the plate and they're supremely confident in their abilities by just watching them. Those are the kind of guys who always come up with big hits. And think back of, you know, in his short career, how many big hits that he's come up with. And a player like George Brett, like we were talking about, they're in the moment.
There's no tension in their approach, so when you get to those tense moments, not a big deal. No hit was bigger than the one he got on September 28th last year. And now they have called a balk for Alvarez. And Upton will move to second.
Here it is right here. I think the call was he didn't step. It was too quick.
Yeah, the second base umpire, Harry Cedarstrom, called him for no step. Upton's at second now with 2 outs. Another foul. But that hit I was mentioning on the 28th of September, he had a walk-off home run on Scott Proctor in the 12th inning to clinch the AL wild card. And we remember that game. It was a 7-0 Yankee lead and looked like everything had been decided, but they stormed back and tied it up.
Didn't he hit a grand slam in that game earlier?
Yeah.
Or a 3-run homer, a huge home run to get him at least within striking distance.
Yeah, he had 2 home runs in that game. That's a base hit down the left field line. Upton will jog around third and come in to score. Longoria delivers the RBI single. He's getting close.
That time, the timing much better. First time up, they struck him out on 3 fastballs. He singled his next time up. But watch the movement that he has, the timing, coming back off speed pitch by Alvarez. And he pays the price. 5-1 Tampa.
Ben Zobrist has been on base twice. Takes the first pitch strike. Tampa Bay doesn't score a lot of runs, but when they score 4 or more runs in a ball game, they are 45-8. That's the best record with 4 runs or more in the majors.
Tough to get 4 runs off the pitching staff, especially the way that the Rays have been throwing. You can see why they're 37 games over 500 when they score 4 or more runs a game.
This is the 54th game in which they've scored 4 or more runs. The significance of that 54 games is that it's the fewest in the American League.
And if they come in here 6 games over 500.
One and 2 to Zobrist. Fouled straight back. Tampa Bay, they don't hit many home runs, but they know who they are, and they will peck away at you.
We saw them at the beginning of the year. We were commenting that they had a little bit more power this year. Remember, Luke Scott was here before he went on the DL, and he was hitting some home runs early in the year. Longoria, that was before he got hurt. They had just picked up Pena, brought him back for a little bit more punch. But injuries and ineffectiveness has put the Rays and Joe Madden right back to where they've been over the last couple of years. Manufacture some runs.
Yeah, they're used to that style of play. They've hit just 100 home runs. Only 3 teams have hit fewer. Two balls and 2 strikes. Evan Longoria with his second RBI of the series. He had a sac fly on Tuesday night in his return to the active roster. Tampa Bay has made Alvarez work. This next pitch he throws will be number 70.
In just 4 innings. Matt Moore, same way. He's thrown 69 through his 4 innings of work.
That ball was well out of the strike zone. Looked like he really slowed his delivery down.
He kept looking back at the dirt area around that pitching rubber.
Longoria is off on the pitch. Zobrist is called out on an inside fastball. So a strikeout will end the bottom of the 4th. Tampa Bay has added a run. It's a 5-1 Rays lead. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Hazel May and Greg Zahn. Go back to this morning before batting practice. Brett Laurie was out with George Poulos trying to test that right rib cage area. He's been dealing with it. You can see as soon as he came out to the field and he tried to get loose, he reached back to touch that area, and obviously he felt the sensation there. And once they got back in, George Poulos, the trainer, went to John Farrell, and they decided to put him on the DL.
I think that's the right move right here. There's 6 games in. There's 6 days into him being out of the lineup, so he's halfway through a 15-day stay. And anytime you feel something like that in your midsection, baseball players, that's where the game is played. A lot of bending and stooping and twisting and turning. you have any discomfort there like Brett Laurie has, it could lead to bigger problems.
Bottom third of the order for the Blue Jays: Mathis, Vizquel, and Hechavarria. Matt Moore has retired 9 straight Blue Jays. He falls behind 2-0. There's a strike. We mentioned Matt Moore was an 8th-round draft pick in 2007. Came out of high school in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Across the state. Keppinger backs up. Long throw in time. Mathis is retired. Oftentimes we talk about Tampa Bay saying, well, you know, they have a lot of high draft picks. Well, they don't.
Right.
They have been a contending team the last several years. They've gone to the World Series. So they have to scout and beat the bushes to find these pitchers like everybody else. And they've done a good job.
And they've been good now for 3 or 4 years. So they haven't had those top 5 picks for a while. Moore, an 8th-round draft pick. They find guys with high upside, and they can project these guys 3 and 4 years down the road. And then they put them in the minor leagues, and they teach them how to pitch.
Vizquel hits the ball hard to left, but right at the left fielder. Vizquel has flied out twice to left.
I think the best example of the Tampa Bay Rays and what they have done is James Shields, 16th-round draft pick. And nobody heard of him. He didn't make all those minor league all-star teams and things like that, but he's just come up here and he's a very good pitcher.
He can dominate at times, and that's what he's doing right now. 2 outs, number 9 hitter. Adeiny Hechavarria takes the ball outside.
His fastball's got a little bit more movement on, a little bit more fade than I remember. It almost looks like, I don't want to say a screwball, but it looks like a screwball, how he can turn it over and fade it away from right-handers. You know what we haven't seen from him today is him reaching back. Max effort. It's been very controlled. Almost like he is pacing himself and using his fastball, trying to spot it a little bit better.
Drops the breaking ball in for a strike. It's 1-2. Matt Moore signed a 5-year contract last December. Guaranteed $14 million. Outside. But there are multiple club options with that contract. It could extend the contract for a total of 8 years and $37.5 million.
Good deal for the team and a good deal for the player.
Moore strikes out Adeiny Hechavarria for a second time. He's now retired 12 in a row. long homestand. They'll start with the New York Yankees. Friday night, it starts at 7:07 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, both day games, both starting at 1:07. For your Blue Jay Yankee tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com, or you can always pick up your Blue Jay tickets at Rogers Plus locations. The Blue Jays are 2-3 against the Yankees this season, which means they have 13 more games against New York from this point to the end of the season. So we'll see a lot of the Yankees. Blue Jays are not going to see CC Sabathia in this upcoming series. He was a nervous starter sitting in the dugout in Detroit yesterday. He left with a comfortable lead, and they've got anything but comfortable toward the end.
I think they ended up winning that one 12-8.
Carlos Pena takes one down and away. Bottom of the 5th inning. Where the Rays have really been patient against Alvarez, not offering anything early. They haven't seen him constantly pitch ahead, so they're going to take those close pitches.
They're not afraid to take a strike and hit with one strike. You know what we haven't seen from Alvarez today is that good, hard, sinking fastball, where the catcher sets up in the middle of the plate, he throws it to the middle of the plate and dives to the corner. Fastball can pretty straight.
Doesn't seem to have that real crisp movement to it.
Not like he did a couple of starts ago against the Tigers.
Pena squares and bunts it up the third base line, and he will get a base hit. Carlos Pena taking advantage of that shift. Bunts it along the third base line and stays fair.
If you're hitting under 200, you got to take any hit you can. That's his 4th bunt hit of the season for Carlos Pena. He's second on the team in bunt hits. There's nobody in this picture on the left. All you have to do is get it by Alvarez, the pitcher, and you can pretty much walk to first base with that hit.
Yeah, he has been disappointed with his batting average, and anytime he can take advantage of that shift, he's going to try to get on base, especially when he's leading off an inning.
Sure. They tried leading him off for a while. Remember when he was here against the Blue Jays and he was leading off? Let's see if he can get a little bit more pitches to see and get him hot.
Jeff Keppinger been on base twice. He singled and reached on a fielder's choice. This time he hits a bouncing ball through the left side. Base hit into left. And Benson, the Yankees coming to Rogers Center tomorrow night. Ricky Romero will open things up for the Blue Jays. He'll be opposed by Freddie Garcia, the right-hander. Garcia 5-5, Romero 8-8. Saturday afternoon, Ivan Nova and Aaron Lackey. And Sunday, Phil Hughes having a good season at 11-9. He'll go up against Jay Happ, who will make his second Blue Jays start on Sunday afternoon. Aaron Luke, the left-hander, starts to loosen up. Tampa Bay now with 10 hits against Henderson Alvarez. Ryan Roberts squares to bunt, takes it. Tampa Bay, 5 runs on the board. They have not scored many runs all season long, averaging just over 4 for the entire season.
Grinding out some at bats this afternoon against Alvarez. Alvarez high for a game in hits this year. That was that start back in Milwaukee in the interleague play when he only lasted 40. He's gave up 11 hits. He's given up 10 already this afternoon.
There's a little flare. Davis over toward the line makes the catch. Roberts is retired. So they take the bunt off, and Roberts flies out to left.
Number 21, Jose Lobaton.
Jose Lobaton, the catcher, had a big hit in the second inning. He was part of that 3-run second inning. He drove in 2 with a single to left. His next at bat, he grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. Jose Bautista, all they can do is sit back and watch.
Try to help out as much as possible. He's moving some of the young outfielders, trying to help put him in a good spot.
Blue Jays have struggled with runners in scoring position on this trip, while their opponents have hit .299. So, and they haven't faced the top offenses in the league. Seattle, Oakland, and Tampa Bay are near the bottom. But they have been victimized by timely hitting. The Jays, by comparison on this trip, have hit .158 with runners in scoring position. Largely due to the fact that they have minor league players called up from AAA.
24 runs scored by the Blue Jays on this trip. Counting today, 11 of those runs coming via the home run. 6 solo home runs. There was a 2-run homer and Jeff Mathis 3-run home run.
Ball on a strike. Inside, it's 2-1. So a team that has relied heavily on the home run all season long continues to do that. But now, you mentioned the 4 key bats on the disabled list. You don't have those good hitters back to back to back in the order.
Veteran hitters who can hit in the clutch.
Base hit to right field. They're waving the runner around third. Here's the throw to the plate. Sierra's throw is up the line. They go to third and tag out Jeff Keppinger. So Lobaton picks up another RBI. He has 3 in the afternoon. Pena scores from second. Sierra's throw was up the third base line.
And Sierra will get an assist on that one. Pena comes around to score. And Lobaton hits that ball hard in the right field. Sierra comes up throwing. Yeah, no chance to get him at the plate. Heads up play by Mathis to go to third base to try and get Keppinger trying to go first to third. Just to get an out when you can, and that hit will knock Henderson Alvarez out of this ballgame.
Alvarez will leave after 4 2/3 and 11 hits. Aaron Loop will come on to face Sam Fuld when we come back to Tropicana Field. He'll face the leadoff batter, Sam pull. 2 outs. Robertone, the catcher, is at first base.
First time that we have seen Aaron Loup in this series. Last pitched in that Oakland series, 2/3 of an inning. He had a walk, but he's done a good job. 0-2, 346 earned run average. The whip, he has gone right after him. He has cracked the whip against the offense. One thing I like about him, he's been very aggressive. He has used his fastball. He's thrown it both sides of the plate. And he's gotten in and gotten out without having to show off a lot of his pitches.
It's his 5th appearance on this road trip. When he gets that sinking fastball over, he can handle lefties with ease and handle right-handers equally. He has good movement on the fastball, and it's a good fastball. It's 93, 94 at times.
Out of a very smooth delivery. Appearing like he's throwing a little bit harder.
And there's that equalizer to the left-handed hitter, a big sweeping breaking ball.
Yeah, he learns, and I think he can do it against left-handers. He can pound that fastball in and then come from that sidearm delivery. That sweeping breaking ball. It's going to be tough on lefties.
Ground ball. Escobar just in time to get full, and that will end the inning. Aaron Loup comes out of the bullpen and gets the left-hander to end the inning. The Blue Jays trail by 5. Fix with Sam Cosentino and Dirk Hayhurst on Baseball Central at noon. Weekdays on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and right here on Rogers Sportsnet. Certainly, Sam Cosentino and Dirk Hayhurst can preview the upcoming Yankees series. It'll all begin tomorrow night. Yankees in town for 3. Now, Tampa Bay has a 6-1 lead. And Matt Moore has retired 12 straight.
Got to start figuring out what he is doing. He's really used his fastball and curveball and his changeup a lot better since the first couple of innings in this game. He has gotten ahead and he has put away the Blue Jays over his last 4 innings.
Top of the order. Rajai Davis had a leadoff double and came in to score the only Blue Jays run of the day. The Blue Jays have had a total of 11 hits in this series. Got 3 in the opener, 6 last night, and 2 this afternoon. But that's what we kind of anticipated coming into this series when you looked at the pitching matchup. Shields, Cobb, and Moore.
Yeah, I'll go all the way back to the last time we were home when we were playing the Tigers and we were getting ready to head out on the road at Seattle. at Oakland and at Tampa Bay. It's a lot of miles against three very good pitching staffs in ballparks that are not conducive to hitting. So what you have to do is just have to keep grinding it out and just keep putting one foot forward. Doesn't get any easier from here.
New York is third in the American League in team ERA. Tampa Bay, Oakland first and second. Yankees third. Seattle fourth. And there's another strikeout. Good off-speed pitch. One down. Blue Jays are going to return for a homestand, and you can see the schedule doesn't get any easier. The 5 coming series: Yankees 64 and 46. The White Sox are right behind them. 4-game set, 60 games under their belt. Texas Rangers over the weekend, 65-game winners. And then Detroit and Baltimore on the road. So it's a tough schedule in all the front-running ball clubs.
You have good pitching staffs. There's only 6 teams in the American League with 60 wins. And the Blue Jays are going to face 5 of them in a row when they get back home.
Kobe Rasmus, the center fielder. Well, you mentioned a good point about Moore. Blue Jays had him on the ropes a bit in the first inning. He was struggling to find the strike zone. And the last base runner to reach, Moises Sierra, leading off the second.
He has found his fastball, curveball, changeup. He has been in the windup since then. There's another strikeout.
2 outs here in the 6th. Let's check in with Hazel May. Thank you, Hazel. So that long hit streak comes to an end. How about the season that Dickey has put together? He's done a great job, and this whole team has played better than expectations.
He's an interesting guy, Dickey. Now a knuckleball pitcher. Throws it hard. That might be the hardest knuckleball that I've ever seen.
15 and 3. And it's an interesting story. He was a first-round draft pick of the Texas Rangers. They had him undergo a physical and found out he was missing his ulnar collateral ligament. So instead of getting a very big signing bonus, they signed him, but he took a beating on the signing bonus, and he struggled a bit with Texas, moved around, bounced around, and then he started tinkering with the knuckleball, and now he's got a chance for the Cy Young Award in the National League.
You know, if you don't know what the ulnar collateral ligament is, I know you heard of Tommy John surgery. That's the ligament that pitchers blow out, where they have to have Tommy John surgery. He doesn't have one. Not stopping him.
Yep, he's done all right with the knuckleball. So the Blue Jays finally get another base runner off of Matt Moore. That's the first base runner. Comes with 2 outs here in the 6th. Moises Sierra was the last Blue Jay to reach. Had a single leading off the second. Yunel Escobar takes one downstairs. Change up for a strike.
Get the feeling this afternoon watching Matt Moore, and we haven't seen him for a while, that if he needs to reach back for a little something extra, there's something there. Today it's all been about staying under control and using the off-speed pitch and mixing in a fastball.
I don't think he's ever come out of his delivery today. Everything has been smooth, free and easy. Had a little bit of trouble in the first, but Pitched around that 1-out walk. On the ground, Zobrist ends the inning. Escobar is retired on the fielder's choice. Blue Jays get a base runner, but they strand another one. Presented by Boston Pizza. Saturday, August 11th, the Blue Jays will take on the New York Yankees. It's a 107 start. Special kids price tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Lots of kids here this afternoon in Tropicana Field. And Junior J Saturday is always very popular in Toronto at the Rogers Center. B.J. Upton facing Aaron Luke for the first time. And Luke gets ahead. There hasn't been much to smile about with the Blue Jays on this road trip, but the bullpen has been one area that's really done a good job. This is a pop-up on the infield. Escobar calls for it and makes the catch.
Right fielder, Matt Joyce.
Tampa Bay leads 6-1. Kyle Farnsworth starts to loosen up. This bullpen is loaded.
Yeah. Farnsworth was a closer when the season started. Injury took him out, and Fernando Rodney has taken over. So Matt Moore's is probably over. You were just talking about the Blue Jays. Ben. Reinforcements came their way when they were in Seattle right at the trade deadline. And it has been a very welcome sight, I think, for John Farrell and his staff.
Steve Delamar, Brad Lincoln joined the Blue Jays in Seattle. Brandon Lyon had been with the club prior to that, coming in the trade with Houston. Brad Lincoln has made 3 appearances, a total of 5 2/3. He's allowed just 2 hits. But the big number for me is the way they've racked up the strikeouts. Echeverria from shallow right throws out Matt Joyce. This is a revamped bullpen and a powerful bullpen. The last 13 games have an ERA of 1.23. Opponents aren't hit the thing against them. The whip is under 1. And look at the strikeout. And this is significant because late in the ball game in the American League East in particular, the lineups are so patient. You need strikeouts. You can't allow the ball to be hit in the plate.
That is coming into this afternoon's game, and it says the last 13 games. That covers 44 innings pitched by the bullpen over the last 13 games. Think about that, almost 5 full games by the bullpen At 161 average, 10 strikeouts, just 1 home run given up. You know, it's not a small sample of, 5 or 6 innings. It's a nice big number, 44 innings by the bullpen.
And that's going to be the case as we wrap up this season. Starters just haven't been able to go deep into a ball game. And it's been kind of a seesaw battle all year long. Even Chad Jenkins has contributed, coming all the way up from Double-A. 3 good innings in his major league debut, allowed just 2 hits. Longoria fouls another pitch off.
Doesn't give you a lot of options in September when the rosters expand. Those guys are already here.
Yeah, there won't be any additions to the roster. They're all here. Hopefully by then some of them will be healthy and back on the active roster. 1-2 to Longoria. Breaking ball just missed the outside corner. Longoria drives it to left. Davis drops the ball. Rajay Davis dropped the ball. He got to it. And it's an error on Rajay Davis. His 8th error of the season. The 7th while playing left field.
Second one on this road trip. He lost the ball in the lights at Oakland, and this time he just misses it. No light problem here. You see he didn't shade himself. He just reached up for it. Looked like it hit him in the heel of the glove and bounced out. So the inning continues. Longoria is on for the 3rd time this afternoon.
Ben Zobrist turns around and bats right-handed for the first time today. Two and 1 to Ben Zobrist. Rajay Davis, that being his 8th error of the season, has committed more errors than any outfielder in baseball. That's a lot of errors for an outfielder.
Yeah, usually you get them on the throwing side. There's been some missed balls, some ground balls that clank off the glove.
Bouncing ball over the mound. Escobar will have to hurry, and does, and throws out Zobrist. So the 2-out error doesn't factor in. The Blue Jays will go to the 7th, trailing by 5. It's 6-1 Tampa Bay. will be Kyle Farnsworth. Injuries have held him to just 12 games this season. He was the closer at the start of the season, as Pat mentioned, but now he adds some depth to the middle of their bullpen.
Yeah, he's always been a guy who could throw hard. And he's had an elbow strain. That's what put him on the DL. 12 games, 0-3, 5.06 earned run average. Still can throw it up there hard, and he's got a much better command of his breaking ball his last couple of years since he's been here with Tampa Bay. They have slowed him down. They've got him back in the strike zone. 13 strikeouts, 8 walks, almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings for Farnsworth.
David Cooper 0 for 2 so far this afternoon with a strikeout against Matt Moore. Farnsworth, when he first hit the big leagues, would throw upwards 98, 99 miles an hour. He had a great fastball. Didn't have that same zip on his heater as he once did. Matt Moore was great. Retired 14 last 15 he faced.
The only blemish was that 2-out walk to Encarnacion last inning.
Fly ball to left. One down.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Sunshine Skyway connecting Bradenton to St. Petersburg over Tampa Bay. Moises Sierra has one of the 2 Blue Jay hits. Big bouncing ball to third. Keppinger throws him out. 2 quick outs for Farnsworth here in the 7th. Matt Moore chatting it up with James Shields, and both of them pitched very well in this series. Moore today, 6 innings, 2 hits. An earned run that came in the first, and after that, just 2 base runners reached against Matt Moore.
2 stolen bases and a balk in the first inning, and that's how the Blue Jays scored their only run this afternoon. Got stronger as the game went along, used his fastball, got it down in the strike zone. And he says when he throws it where he wants to, that fastball, he's a lot like David Price because he'll use it a lot.
Oh, that's great news for the rest of the league. A lot like David Price.
Well, the only left-hander in the American League, a starter who throws harder than Matt Moore, is David Price.
Catcher Jeff Mathis. That cutter missed the inside corner. Darren Oliver hasn't had a lot of opportunities to pitch on this road trip. He's pitched in 2 games, a total of an inning and a third on the road trip.
One of those being a save at Oakland where he picked up his 2nd save of the season.
That save for Oliver came on Saturday against the Athletics. Pitched in back-to-back games in Oakland, and that's been it. Outside with the fastball. It's a full count. On the ground, Zobrist comes after it. Throws out Mathis. Farnsworth continues the streak of dominant relief appearance for the Rays. He has a 1-2-3 top half of the 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be Darren Oliver. We'd mentioned Oliver has made only 2 appearances on this road trip, but what a season he has put together. Left-handers hitting just over 200. Right-handers can't touch him.
And check out that whip, 0.89 for Oliver. He has thrown everything over for strikes. 40 innings, 40 strikeouts, and just 9 base on balls this year. Matters hitting under 200 against Oliver. He needs some work, so an inning here, the 7th inning, is Darren Oliver's.
Carlos Pena looks at the first pitch strike. Pena had a bunt single his last time up, and they'll give it to him again if he wants it. But 6-1, you wouldn't think he'd want a bunt.
That's a little surprising that he was squaring around the bunt again. Seeing how the Blue Jays have been swinging the bat in this series.
He bunts it. Mathis out behind home plate, throws him out. Don't you find that a little odd in a 6-1 game?
Yeah,
I do.
There's 6 outs to go.
Yeah,
in the game. And again, the way the Blue Jays have been swinging the bats, that Pena would be bunting up by 5 runs in the 7th inning.
Good play by Mathis.
Boy, he comes out of the chute. And the whole keeper in there was 360, turning his back towards first base, and that allows him to get his feet set underneath him to make the throw.
Pena has said if you're going to play him in that shift, I'm going to take the bunt, but you'd think he'd want to swing the bat. Jeff Keppinger, he's been swinging the bat the entire series. He has 2 hits this afternoon. He's been aboard 3 times. Oliver always has the ability to get right back into account. If he misses with the first one, that second one's going to be a strike.
Change of speeds with his pitches.
Broken bat. Vizquel behind second. Just couldn't get enough on the throw. He got to it easily enough. But trying to use that jump throw to first, he couldn't get enough on the throw.
That was the impressive part, him getting to it. He just doesn't have the arm strength like he did a few seasons ago, where he can get that ball across the diamond. Sweet hands, picks it, throws it across, and Keppinger is going to outrun the baseball. We have seen Omar Vizquel over the years make this play time and time again, but just not enough arm strength to finish it off that time.
Elliot Johnson has taken over as a pinch runner at first. And Roberts sitting on that first pitch. Hooks it way foul. Everybody in this lineup has had a hit except for the leadoff batter, Sam Poe. Roberts had an RBI single in the 3rd inning. Pops this one up. Mathis now gives way to Encarnacion, and he makes the catch. Darren Oliver can jam more hitters with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball than anybody in baseball.
Yeah, because he's free and easy, and he'll flip the curveball in there, and then he'll cut that fastball in there. And that's all about reading bats and getting in the mind of those hitters. That is a terrible feeling when you're a right-handed batter and you've got a left-hander out there. Doesn't throw the ball hard, maybe 88. And you're walking back to the dugout after popping up and getting jammed.
Yeah. You know, you got guys beating each other up to get in the batter's box, and they all walk back to the bench with a broken bat. Doesn't throw hard, doesn't intimidate you, won't overpower you, but it'll get you out. Jose Lobaton has had a 3 RBI day. A 2-run single in the 2nd and an RBI single in the 5th. broke his back. Rajay Davis has a long run. He gets there, and another broken back for Darren Oliver. Gives up an infield hit and nothing more. And Oliver works the seventh. Middle of the seventh. Tampa Bay has a 6-1 lead. Smart Play brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Please enjoy responsibly.
Omar Vizquel's been in the big leagues a long time, and he knows who the runner is. That Sanford could run, and when he tries to punt on him, he knows his only play is to barehand it and shovel it over to first base. Watch how quickly he catches it, almost ricochets it over to first base to get the very fast Sanford at first base. That is this afternoon's Smart Play.
Omar Vizquel is a pleasure to watch play. New pitcher for Tampa Bay will be J.P. Howell, the left-hander. Another veteran of this bullpen. He is finally healthy again, and he has been effective all season long.
Great numbers. And Joe Madden uses him as a one-inning guy, or he can use him as a left-on-left specialist. Ben Zobrist, who started the game at shortstop, has shifted over to second base. Ryan Roberts still at third. Elliott Johnson comes in and takes over at shortstop. Jeff Keppinger out of the ball game. Roberts over to third base.
Omar Vizquel shows bunt, takes a strike. Vizquel has hit the ball sharply twice. He's flied out both times to left field. Howe came up with the Kansas City Royals as a starter. Made 15 starts in 2005 in Kansas City. He came to Tampa Bay and made 8 starts in Tampa Bay in 2006. 10 more in 7, and then he's moved to the bullpen. He has been very effective out of the bullpen. In fact, he had 17 saves in 2009. Go back and forth.
He has battled some injury over the last couple of years. Before he got hurt and threw hard, he set the record at the University of Texas for strikeouts. Now he's a very effective left-handed reliever. His fastball, he can move it in and out. Good curveball, throw strikes. Joe Madden can use him in different ways out of the bullpen.
Breaking ball is down in the dirt, straight 2.
He's a little bit different than some of the other arms that they have down there. And I think when you put a bullpen together, you need balance. You need the lefties and you need the righties. You also need power and you need finesse. And I would put J.P. Howell in the finesse category.
No doubt about it. He is a guy that will throw a combination of pitches over. Vizquel hits it sharply. Ryan Roberts, who just moved over to third, makes a good play. See, first out, top 8. Third baseman Danny Echeverria has struck out twice this afternoon. He's 1 for 13. His one hit, his first big league hit, came against James Shields here on Tuesday night. Breaking ball bends in there for a strike. 1-1 to Echeverria.
It's a good matchup for him right here. 6-1 lead. You're hitting ninth. He's going to challenge you.
There's a strike. Fastball in there. 1 out, top of the 8th inning. Blue Jays have had but 2 hits.
Got 3 the other day off of James Shields.
Well, there's hit into center field. Upton with those long strides. Eats up a lot of ground and makes the catch.
Makes it look easy in center field. Echeverria hit that one hard. But Upton, he's a free agent at the end of the year.
Rajay Davis has one of the 2 hits that came in the first at bat of this game. He had an opposite field double off of Matt Moore. And hit him. Now trying to bury that fastball inside. Hits Rajay Davis. Kobe Rasmus struck out twice. He's 0 for 3 overall.
Fastball in, gets him right in the back.
Two outs. They'll play behind Davis at first. It's a 5-run Rays lead, and there goes Davis taking all the way. Rasmus takes the strike. They have not ruled on that stolen base. I believe they're going to give Rajay Davis a stolen base in that. Still a situation where Pena was behind him. He got a left-handed hitter. You could say, well, he's behind him because of the score and the left-handed batter. Davis has a steal early in the game. He stole third base back in the first.
Came home on a balk, and that's been it for the Blue Jays offense. You know, that's the thing we were talking about it earlier about the home runs and how they've accounted for 11 of the 24 runs they've scored. They've scored on a balk on this road trip, a couple of sacrifice flies, a sacrifice bunt, an error. That's it. They just haven't hit with runners in scoring position.
Davis was not credited with a stolen base. It's defensive indifference. 0-2, 2 outs. Rasmus strikes out. Lobaton will go to first to retire Rasmus. The inning is over. Blue Jays are done in the 8th. The bullpen continues to shut them down. Bottom of the 8th inning, Tampa Bay has a 5-run 6th inning. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Hazel May in Great Zone. Sportsnet live coverage of the Blue Jays. Watch the action live all season from your smartphone. Download the Rogers Live app from your app store. New pitcher is Casey Janssen. He needs an inning of work before the Yankees series. Janssen has not pitched since Sunday in Oakland. Picked up his 14th save of the season.
That appearance that you were just talking about, just his third appearance on this whole road trip. So Casey needs some work. 14 for 15 in saves. Got to keep him sharp. It's been a rough road trip for the Blue Jays. They haven't had too many save opportunities, so John Farrell's got to find some time for his closer.
One save opportunity, and this is just the fourth appearance for Casey Janssen in 10 games. Janssen hasn't given up a hit. 3 innings of hitless ball. He's walked the batter and struck out 3. That's the way he's been all year long.
Yep. He has just kept the ball down. He's kept it on the corner. He has mixed his pitches. And he's had a great attitude all season long.
Now Pull fouls it off. We talked about Janssen's attitude the other day after he picked up his 14th save. Someone asked him how he can be so consistent. He had this quote. He said, you have to have personal pride not to go out there and embarrass yourself. So every time you take the mound, it's as if you're auditioning for your manager, for your fans, for your next appearance. It's a terrific mindset for anybody.
Don't take anything for granted. That's a great attitude for young kids, for professionals, for college players. It doesn't matter. Just get out there. Don't take anything for granted, and don't rest on your laurels.
2-2 to Sam Fuld. Outside. Janssen had his career taken away from him because of shoulder surgery. And generally, when players have that reality that it could come to an end in the bat of an eye, when they come back, they cherish every opportunity a little bit more. Fuld is putting up a fight.
He was a starter when he first came to the big leagues for the Blue Jays, and then reinvented himself into the bullpen. And with struggles and injuries, they put him in that closer's role, and it fit like a glove with Casey.
Another foul ball. Yeah, with that kind of attitude, Casey Janssen can pitch anytime in a ball game, whether he's closing or starting or long relief, middle relief, doesn't make any difference. He says, as far as motivation goes, playing the game we love, the day that you don't have that passion is the day that you should hang up your spikes. Strike 3 call.
All-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
One down, B.J. Upton. One for 4 on the afternoon. He's driven in a run. Slow breaking ball, and he was fooled.
When Casey was a starter, he had a great fastball and a very good curveball. He's shown that here. Come up with a nice little cutter and a split change. Well, he's got all the pitches. A lot of times you'll see closers with just 2 pitches. A good fastball and a good breaking ball, a good fastball, a trick pitch, maybe a splitter. But he's got all of them, and he uses all of them, and he's smart on the mound.
Ground ball is short, backhanded by Escobar. Upton's retired. 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Well, Casey Janssen's a little bit like your pal Jeff Montgomery, Kansas City. Had starter background, had all the pitches, and he wasn't really your typical closer in that he didn't have a terrific slider or a trick pitch like a splitter, but the entire combination was about throwing everything over. And like Casey Janssen, he had a lot of heart.
Big heart, yeah, and a mindset that, hey, I'm the closer, you're not going to get a hit. Ended up with 309 saves.
Yeah, you could probably ask a lot of good baseball fans how many career saves Jeff Montgomery had, and they wouldn't guess nearly that number.
And Casey's got that same bulldog type of approach on the mound. I'm the best pitcher today.
Matt Joyce had an infield hit his first time up. That extended his hit streak to a career high 8 games. Since then, he's gone 0 for 3. Ow! Hit him right on the knee. Rajay Davis got hit by a pitch in the top half of this inning. J.P. Howe hit him. And in this ball game, there was nothing to suggest there was any intent behind either pitches. But Casey Janssen, I think, said, you know what? You hit one of my guys.
2 outs, breaking ball. And this one just kept riding in on Joyce. Watch him try and get out of the way. Couldn't really tell if that hit him in the kneecap or just above the knee. But Joyce will take his position at first base.
Obviously, we're not aware if there's any intent involved, but Davis being hit by a pitch was very curious. With 2 outs, top of the order.
Yep, and right in the backside.
But as I say, there hasn't been anything throughout these 3-game series that would suggest there was anything of an intentional manner. Pass ball catches the outside corner. George Hendrick, the first base coach, seemed to be agitated by Matt Joyce getting hit.
Yeah, he fired up about something. Something in their dugout.
Of course, he comes from that generation of, you hit one of ours, we're going to hit 2 of yours. Hendrick came up in the A's organization and was an outstanding player for a long time. St. Louis, Cleveland, he was a good player.
Yes, he was. Clutch player.
Casey Janssen getting an inning of work here, and he would just as soon not throw many more pitches. He's thrown 22 now. J.P. Howe on the bench, and that might be who George Hendrick is agitated at.
Rajay Davis got hit, and then one of his outfielders gets hit in the knee.
Evan Longoria drives this to left. Home run, Evan Longoria. No, it stayed in the park. It hit off the top of the rail. And Longoria will end up at second. Just missed a home run. It hit off the top of that fence and stayed in the park.
Joe Maddon's going to come out and ask to have a look at this one. I thought your original call was right. I thought it was gone, and it came back out onto the playing field.
This is a very tough fence because you can see through the top of the fence. It's mesh above the padded wall. And now Joe Maddon is going to appeal to the third base umpire. Watch this ball hit. And it hit right off the top of that yellow line and stayed in the ballpark. Clearly it stayed in the ballpark right there. I thought it hit behind it and came back. But Barksdale's going to ask the rest of the umpire if they need to review this. But this is one of the toughest ballparks because that mesh fence above the padded wall. It appears that the ball can go behind it, and you can still see the baseball, and that one stayed in the ballpark.
And then come back. Right, that replay showed it went right off the top of the bar. And they are going to take a look at it. We'll probably see what we just saw, that it stayed in the ballpark. It didn't bounce over the fence and then back onto the playing field.
Well, 3 umpires will go inside and review the videotape. 1 umpire stays out on the field during this process. But Longoria has really swung the bat well all day long today. He has 3 hits so far, 2 singles and a double. And now it's in the umpire's hands.
You don't think they missed his bats? This team looks like a different team offensively since he has come back this series. Joe Mannon's certainly happy to have his big slugger in.
While we got a minute, we'll remind you that there's some Rogers Tennis Cup action, all the live action from 2 great tournaments. It's the Rogers Cup presented by National Bank. Tennis at its very best. Now you can see the men's matches on City TV. The women can be seen on FX Canada. Evan Longoria waiting for the umpire's ruling on this review of his drive off the top of the fence, and it's a double. Gary Cederstrom came out of the tunnel and indicated that Longoria will stay put at second. He will leave the ball game in favor of the pinch runner Sean Rodriguez, and Longoria ends up his afternoon with a 3-for-5 day. So Sean Rodriguez comes into the ball game as a pinch runner. Tampa Bay has extended their lead. It's now 7-1. But more unfortunately, Casey Janssen has now thrown 24 pitches.
So they got to get some action up. Got to save it for tomorrow night in case they need their closer against the Yankees in Game 1.
Brandon Lyons starting to loosen up. 2 outs. Zobrist pulls it foul.
It was that Sam Fuld at bat. That was an 11-pitch at bat by Fuld to lead off this inning. Jansen eventually struck him out. Got the ground out by Upton, hit Joyce, and then the double, and that's what's made that inning here a 25-pitch inning.
It's funny, the Tampa Bay Rays have really forced Jansen into some long innings. He had a 3rd inning back at the end of May in this ballpark, getting an inning of work, and they made him throw 30 pitches. He came back in that same series in May, pitched an inning and 2/3 in extra innings, and pitched 30 pitches that game as well. Gets one by Zobrist. It's 2-2.
Well, one way or another, this is going to be his last batter. If he retires him, the inning's over. If not, John Farrell will go and get him. Got to save him for tomorrow.
27 pitches in the inning for Casey Jansen. Full count. This is popped up. Mathis. Neither one of them could see it. Mathis was camped out by a home plate, lost it once it got up in that. Scott Casey Jansen came in from the mound.
I didn't see it either.
Looking up, and it is so difficult, especially in day games when the sun's outside shining down on this roof. You can see that the roof is exactly the same color as the baseball. And boy, if you don't follow it the moment it leaves the bat, you'll never find it again.
You're going to have to get a lot of help sometimes. Casey Jansen came in to give some help to Mathis, and then he lost it. Ball ended up about 4 rows deep behind home plate.
Another 3-2 to Zobres. He strikes out. Slow breaking ball gets Jansen out of the inning. But it takes 30 pitches. But go to the ninth. The Blue Jays trail Tampa Bay 7-1. So Yankees had a 2-0 lead in that ball game, and then Avila connects, and they would score a third run. 3-2 Detroit. They've been back and forth. Wade Davis will get his first inning of work in this series. Davis, a former starter, now working out of the bullpen, makes his 36th appearance of the season.
And the bullpen certainly agrees with Wade Davis. He might not agree with that, but his number's outstanding. Giving some length to Joe Madden out of the bullpen. He throws hard. Good fastball, good breaking ball. He can cut his fastball also.
Right, Davis up and in. There might be a little bit more going on in this game than we realize. Pena bunted in a 6-1 ball game off of Darren Oliver, starting out the 7th inning. And then Rajay Davis got hit with 2 outs for no apparent reason. Casey Jansen responded by hitting Matt Joyce with 2 outs.
And another one inside. I was just watching George Hendrick. George Hendrick looked upset with somebody on their bench. Maybe he felt like Davis getting hit caused Joyce to get hit.
That's what it looked like from our perspective, because George Hendrick was rattled, and he was looking back into the Rays dugout. Edwin Encarnacion is starting out the top of the ninth. The Rays scored early. Blue Jays had a 1-0 lead. Rays put 3 on the board in the bottom of the second and have never looked back. Hey, one thing, the Rays have made it known they don't want anything to do with Edwin Encarnacion. He hasn't had much to hit in the entire series.
2 more walks this afternoon. Even in a 7-1 game, they're pitching to him very carefully.
If the Rays complete this win here this afternoon, it'll be their first sweep since June 8th, 9th, and 10th, when they beat the Marlins at home in Miami. popped up behind the home plate and out of play. Rays haven't had a sweep at home since June 30th. A 4-game sweep of the Mariners.
And they're doing it on the strength of their pitching staff. Each time they take the mound, it seems like that guy the next night gets a little bit better.
And when Encarnacion hits it deep into the outfield, and B.J. Upton gets over and makes the catch.
Yeah, and it's not just their starting staff that's been good. Their relief has been just as good.
Fernando Rodney had 2 appearances in this series, and he had back-to-back saves, his 33rd and 34th. Joel Peralta appeared in yesterday's game, struck out the side in his only inning of work. Today it's been Farnsworth, Howell, and now Wade Davis. The Blue Jays have just 2 hits. If it stays that way, that'll be their lowest hit total for the season. They had 3 hits on Tuesday night in the opener, 6 hits last night, and just 2 this afternoon.
And both of those came in the first 2 innings. Davis leading off the game.
Sean Rodriguez fields the grounder, 2 down.
Sierra leading off the second inning, and that's been it.
Blue Jays have had 2 base runners since the second. A walk to Encarnacion in the 6th, and Rajay Davis was hit by a pitch in the 8th. Ground ball just foul at first. It has been a tough trip for the Jays. They have lost their 3rd baseman to an injury. They look like they're going to end up 2-8 on the 10-game road trip. They have dug down deep into their minor league system for replacements, and it's been a tough stretch.
Yeah, we have battles every one of these teams.
Cooper slices it foul down the left side.
When they go home to Rogers Center, a big homestand against the 3 teams that are leading their divisions.
That pretty much sums it up, that look on Omar Vizquel's face. Yeah, you're going to go home and say, okay, well, we're home. Well, you are home, but you're going to face the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Rangers, the 3 division leaders. We look to Ricky Romero to get the Blue Jays homestand off on the right foot. He opens up against the Yankees. Two and 2 to David Cooper. There's a line drive toward the gap. That'll get down and go to the wall. David Cooper delivers the 3rd Blue Jay hit of the afternoon. A 2-out double. His 7th double.
That young man has had a very good road trip for the Blue Jays, and he's done it in the 9th inning a couple of times. Homered yesterday, homered in Oakland to send it to extra innings, and head down on that one. Fastball away, stayed right with it. Splits the outfielders for extra bases.
7 doubles, 4 home runs for David Cooper. Moises Sierra. Up and away. Cooper's extra base production, 7 doubles and 4 home runs, comes in 97 at bats.
That's production, and he has shown that he can hit the ball the other way. Homered to left field, down the left field line yesterday. That time, that was a rocket to left center.
Sierra fights it off and fouls it down the right side. Well, the Blue Jays have 3 hits, third time this season. They have been held to 3 hits here in the opener by James Shields and Fernando Rodney. Dwayne Murphy understands he's got some young hitters playing every day. Up the middle. John Rodriguez behind second, throws out Sierra. That ends the game. Tampa Bay completes the 3-game sweep, winning the series finale 7-1. Blue Jays give up 7 runs on 13 hits to Tampa Bay.
A team that hadn't been hitting the ball, but they come here and they come up with some clutch hits. Didn't hit the home run, but they came up with clutch hit. The pitching staff is on a roll for the Tampa Bay Rays, the starters and the relievers. And now the Blue Jays just have to bring their lunch pail tomorrow at home against the Yankees.
The Yankees will start a 3-game series tomorrow night. We'll be there. Ricky Romero goes to the mound for the Jays. We'll see you tomorrow night. Stay tuned for Bob McCown. It's Primetime Sports right now.